farming, and even more farming. Do you always find yourself asking the question why you're always so far behind in farm in the laning phase, or just in terms of souls at the end of the game? And in this video, hopefully I'm going to answer these questions or will point you into the right direction. But anyways, let's get on to the video. Hopefully by now you're familiar with the phases early game, mid game, and late game. What does each really mean in terms of farming? Farming in Deadlock is a constant that all other MOBAs have as well. You continue to farm throughout all three stages, and hopefully I'll be explaining to you how to farm effectively and well efficiently. Now, while elimination of enemy players and objectives ultimately win the game, you need to buy items, and with buying items you need to farm. Farming provides the gold, the money, the souls, and experience to outscale your opponent. If you're ignoring farm and just trying to play it like a TDM from Call of Duty, then well, you risk falling behind in items, making it tough to survive fights even if you're gunning for objectives. Now that you understand why we're farming, now let's talk about the early stage of the game. First and foremost, we need to understand the soul mechanics. Souls spawn each time you last hit a minion / trooper, whatever you want to call them. Upon getting a last hit, instead of getting all of these souls, you get 60% of what the minion is worth, and after last hitting, a soul orb will pop out. Shooting it and claiming it will grant you that 40%, totaling to 100% of the souls. Now, don't think that this game is all just easy. If you're not quick enough to pull the trigger on that soul orb, well, the enemy can steal it. But the best way to farm these minion souls is to melee if possible. Last hit meleeing the troopers allows you to secure the souls without worrying about precise timing. It's crazy that a lot of people still don't even know this. Now, denying opponents farm is another crucial concept. If you can control your lane and prevent your opponents from securing their last hits, you gain more souls while they fall behind. Poke them when they try to farm, creating chances to deny them resources. Now, exactly at 2 minutes, a single tier 1 jungle camp will appear beside your lane. These camps offer free souls, but knowing when to take them is critical. Look for an opportunity after pushing your lane into the enemy tower, and try your best to avoid the camps if you're being heavily pressured in lane. If you're being heavily pressured and take the risk for going to the jungle camp, you might result in a early death, which can throw off your entire laning phase. And if you click top right, I have a whole jungle guide that walks you through everything about the jungle in Deadlock. Another big thing to keep in mind is that at 3 minutes, boxes and the golden statues spawn near your lane, offering rewards like extra souls, damage, health, or ammo. Ignoring these collectibles gives your opponent an advantage, so grab them whenever you're safe, or just shoot them. Even if they're empty, they'll respawn later on. Now, last but certainly not least for the early game, track your soul count and shop regularly. It's in your best interest to aim to go back for items about every 500 souls to keep up your damage and health advantage. Now, there are some voice prompts your character will say in the game, so look out for it. Things like when they're talking about shopping, that's usually when you have enough to go back if you're not paying attention. Now, for just a little bit of a recap, lane phase. Focus on last hitting, denying your opponent's farm, and maintaining a strong position. Remember, you want to focus on meleeing the troopers as you can get guaranteed souls. The tier 1 jungle camp spawns at 2 minutes, so look for the jungle camps when your lane is pushed. At 3 minutes, boxes and golden statue spawns, and they can provide you a slight advantage over your enemy laner, giving you souls and slight buffs. And try to shop on a regular. At least every 500 souls you should go back. Of course, this all depends where your lane is and where you're positioned at. Consistent execution of these strategies ensures you stay ahead, even if it's by small increments. That slight advantage could make or break your lane. Now, if you really wanted to, you could go to the hero sandbox and practice. And if you're finding this video useful so far, make sure to hit that like button. Now that the early game is kind of out of the way, the mid phase of the game starts at approximately 8 minutes now. The mid and late game stages kind of mix and flow together, but effective farming still requires specific strategies. At 5 minutes on the dot, the medium camps spawn, and at 8 minutes on the dot, the tier 3 or the harder jungle camps spawn as well. If you maintain control in the early game, it's in your best interest to start rotating to the tier 2 camps to secure extra resources and extra souls. But do be warned, when you try to go do this, you could end up losing your tier 1 turret and ultimately leading you to lose access to your tier 1 guardian shop. So it's a gamble. I would recommend hovering around your tier 1 guardian still, farming all of these side camps while still maintaining that little bit of laning pressure you have. Then when it comes to the tier 3 camps, I would avoid them until you get sufficient damage output like ricochet, Tesla bullets, or some type of lifesteal, or call over a teammate to help you. Tier 3 camps are more easily viable at 15 to 20 minutes once you scaled. Another major topic is soul splitting after 8 minutes. Shared farming becomes less efficient, only 50% of the souls are distributed if multiple teammates are in the area. For maximum soul gain, farm alone. Transition to jungle camps tier 1 and tier 2 objectives as well as boxes and statues to accumulate solo resources. Then contesting the quote-unquote N objective. The N objective becomes crucial in the mid-game for team resources. The N objective being guardians, walkers, and so on. Securing it grants significant soul advantage to your team, so rotate towards it and communicate with teammates to maximize farm and give an edge. Now just a little bit of a recap. During the mid to late game, solo farm when possible, farming alone maximize soul gain, especially post 8 minutes. You also want to look to push and rotate. Push lanes, then rotate to the enemy tier 1 and tier 2 camps, boxes, and statue, as well as your own jungle. Then lastly, rinse and repeat. Keep pushing and farming rotations for maximum efficiency. Executing these steps consistently ensures you're the top soul farmer by the end of the game. Of course, results may vary, but sticking to these strategies keeps you well prepared for the late game team fights. And hopefully you're more well prepared, especially after the recent changes. And of course, if you're new here or find yourself coming back on the regular and you aren't already subscribed yet, why not? You're coming back anyways. Do me a favor and like the video if you liked it, and let me know down in the comments below what else you would like to see. But anyways, I hope you have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next one.